Hey everyone, this is Chris Moore with Spirit of Atlanta and Georgia Tech. I've been a huge fan of Marching Roundtable for years. Tim Hinton and his team have done a great job. I just want to encourage everyone to get out there and subscribe to this valuable educational content that Tim and his team have put together. It's $5.99 a month. It's less than a trip to Starbucks for most of us, and it provides valuable education for all music educators, performing artists, and our students. So get out there and support Tim and our friends at the Marching Roundtable.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Marching Roundtable podcast. This is Tim Hinton, the beast of the marching arts. Really excited to be talking with some folks from the Madison Scouts. Jason, Rob, how are you?
I'm doing so well. Thank you for having me today.
Thanks for being here. And Chris Komnick, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me as well.
Absolutely. So we are talking about forward leadership student curriculum. This is student leadership training that you can use. It's available right now at Marching Arts Education. You can sign up your student leaders and get them on track, ready to help you when the season begins. I have to tell you, Jason, I've had a lot of conversations. Like you and I have talked about leadership a lot as you've been working for a long, long time, putting this together with the folks from Forward Leadership there at the Madison Scouts. We've been talking about how important it is to have good student leadership, because a lot of people are out there and they don't have like a giant staff of 14 people. It's like maybe it's just them, or maybe they have a drum guy, maybe they have a guard person. So your student leaders have to step up, and they're more and more important all the time. I feel like I'm sort of getting even bigger appreciation than I've ever had. So this is important, right, Jason?
Well, and it's interesting because I'm from Texas. I think that where I live is not a great representation. And doing some research across the United States, most schools have 1.5 band directors from 6th grade to 12th grade. So when you look at the average high school program, staffing is not as easy as where I live. So I think that the best way for us to really support our students is to teach our students how to teach and teach our students how to lead, and kind of take some of that responsibility that they can do and engage them. And it's really been fun for me to get into learning about how to train leaders and all those things, because I see how effective it is to band programs. It's the one thing that every single band director can really benefit from across all programs.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We're going to be talking about the specifics of what this is, what the curriculum is, how you can use it with your students, why they went to all the trouble to create this. Chris, you're the Chief Executive Officer of the Madison Scouts. I got to tell you, I've been impressed with the drum corps in general, how well they took care of their students, all the educational stuff they did during the shutdown. And we're excited to have drum corps back this coming summer. But to tell you, I think Madison Scouts have been one of the ones that everybody's been talking about, like that you and your team have done such an incredible job of engaging your students, creating great educational content and engagement for your students and the members of the corps. So this seems like just more of that. The forward leadership, what is that in the Madison organization?
Sure. And thank you for noticing. I mean, it has been a difficult year, but also a very engaging year for the Madison Scouts in general. We wanted to make sure that we continue to provide our students a community to participate in. Of course, it had to be virtual, but then to continue to build up their skills. And leadership has been a fundamental part of that. The Madison Scouts organization, leadership has been the baseline foundation to it from day one. Even as we look into our history, we go back and see how important it was even back in the 30s and 40s, and it was an important component to my own experience. And certainly as we have gone through the years, the feedback from our students is the leadership development opportunities were probably the most critical and important thing that they took into their future lives. So eventually we wanted to get to a point where we took that, codified all the information and great stuff that we are teaching our students through practice, and put it in a way that we can then impact more students. And that was really the birth of the forward leadership concept, and really has become the foundation. It's a lot of the principles that we've been teaching for decades in the Madison Scouts, being able to make it available to more and more students, primarily around in band programs. And so that's kind of how we got to where we are with it.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I have to tell you, like, we all know how important our drum corps experience was to us, and great band directors and drum corps people all the time talk about we're preparing citizens to go out there and be great, Americans and make an impact in whatever they do, whether they're a dental hygienist or whatever, whether they're in music or not. So Jason, like, it's interesting that the way you guys are framing this, because you're right. The things I really learned about how to be a hard worker and a team player and stick with things and like overcome all, this is really leadership stuff. So I love that you're framing it that way.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, I mean, it's funny because a lot of what I know in my life and positive parts of my life come from when I was a member of the Madison Scouts. And so being in this new position for me as the program coordinator, and we moved into this Mad Youth thing, I knew that I wanted to really reshape how we looked at empowering our membership, just from like, what is the membership experience like? And I think there's a lot of parallels from what we're teaching, our 17 to 21-year-olds to create a curriculum that we can also pour out into these high school band programs. So what we've done is basically I was able to meet with Chris over the pandemic and say, okay, this is what I'm dreaming up. Will you let me do this? And Chris has been really supportive. So we basically hired a curriculum team, which are all members of the Madison Scouts educational team and admin team and design team. I'm termed the educational director, but the other parts of the curriculum team is David Lofi, who's our core director, who is a drum major with Madison Scouts, I'd like to add. Catherine Willer is a middle school band director at Henry Middle School in Cedar Park, Texas. She's a fantastic band director and a member of our brass staff. Ryan Ellis, who is our percussion caption head and our battery designer. And then Rachel Montanez, and she is a part of our color guard staff. It's funny, if you plot where the four of us all live, we live basically in the four corners of the United States, so we're all spread apart, and we've just basically been on Zoom meetings once a week and coming up with this curriculum. It's something I think that's important is it all started out on like, what do we want the Madison Scouts members to know, and what responsibilities do we want our students to hold? One of the things I think is really interesting about Drum Corps, Tim, I don't know if you've ever thought about this, is we have all these staff members flying in and out, but the members are there all summer. And so you have like a mellophone tech coming in and a mellophone tech leaving and a mellophone tech coming in, and the mellophones are there the whole time, right? So anytime a new staff member comes in, like everything gets blown up because we don't have the procedure. And I'm just thinking, the members are there. The members know what we're doing. Like, I mean, they should be doing all of that stuff. So we've been talking about that. What can the members be taking ownership of their experience in the summer and in camps and all of those things? So we've actually been delivering this leadership curriculum to our students once a week. On top of the four of us, we also have extended, and Chris has let me basically take on, we have a whole staff of 16 leadership teachers, and it's just a bunch of Madison Scout staff members. And every single Monday, we have a leadership class. It's 90 minutes. We talk about a topic, or we talk about building a skill, and we deep dive into it and break into breakout rooms and discuss it. And then the students work on that all week. And then the second week, we come back and we talk about how it went and we research it. And there's a lot of really, and we'll go into the minutiae here in a little bit, but it's been a really fun experiment. The thing I'm really excited about is that we're going to put into action this summer on the road. So, all of the caption heads and all of the actual leaders who interviewed to be leaders are going to Madison, Wisconsin before Drum Corps tour starts, and we're going to talk about what their jobs are going to be. We're going to decide, like, what do they want to be in charge of? How are we going to rehearse? What can they teach versus the text teaching? Like, it's going to be really fun. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, what I love about what you're describing is that even in one of the top drum corps, where there's all these staff members and all this talent, and like there's this giant mechanism happening, still the members and the leaders in the members are critical to this all working and being successful. And they're bringing that. What I love is that you're sharing, you just talked about, you've done all this work, you've had all these meetings, you've really been helping to develop your members and the leadership skills there. And you're bringing that to all of us. I mean, I got to tell you, if I'm a band director and I'm trying to figure out how to get my students to know what they're doing, I would love to know. I would like for them to learn from the Madison Scouts. Like you guys have, Chris, as you said, you're known for this topic over, decades, and now you're bringing it to us. So Jason, how's this going to work? If I have some students and I want them to sign up, like what's the experience they're going to have? Is it videos? Like what kind of thing is it?
So it's really exciting because, this has really started up, and we've been doing these let me start that again. It's really exciting, everything we have going on. The first way that Forward Leadership can get involved with your program is just we can come and teach your leaders. We can teach your staff. We can bring education and leadership into your band halls by being present physically. So we have a staff of band directors and staff members and designers that can bring different things, and we customize and tailor those to the band director's needs. So for instance, I'm going to go do a drum major camp for Claudia Taylor Johnson, who's the UL state champion, in the middle of July. Also, I mean, that's expensive because, just the plane flight alone can be prohibitive. So another thing that we can do is we can do Zoom calls where we do Zoom training. A lot of band directors is that how effective is that? It can be very effective. I've probably done 100 to 120 sessions over Zoom in the last 2 years just because of the pandemic. So that can be very effective as well. And the thing that's really exciting is right now we are launching our Forward Leadership online leadership training through Marching Arts Education. So you can go onto the Marching Arts Education website, and Chris and Tim and I have put together this system where you can get about 12-hour course sessions that you can bring into your band hall. And it's great because some of it's, about how to be a better person, some of it's how to, be a better teacher, and they're hour-long sessions, but the videos are only about 15 or 20 minutes, and then there's activities within the videos that can, you can use those as you wish. And they're kind of built where you can just play the video in your band hall and then just interact like one of us was there, or you can take the material and just present it yourself. All of the PowerPoint presentations are all included in PDF format. So, I mean, you can basically pay to have access to all those courses. It's really, really, really fantastic.
So I can just turn it on in my band hall with my student leaders, and they can all take it and do the activities and work through this together. They can do it individually, I'm assuming at home, each student leader, or my staff can sort of take it, learn this content, and then teach it. I mean, really, it's really versatile.
It is.
All the different ways that this can happen. But the point is, it's there now. It's available. Everybody wants their student leaders to be more effective. And Chris, like I said before, like I kind of, if I'm going to get somebody to show me how to do this, I kind of like the idea of the Madison Scouts doing. I mean, you guys do so many things right. This is a real feather in the cap for the Madison organization because, drum corps, you're really giving back to the educators. Drum corps have been doing this sort of off the radar a lot, but you guys are really making your expertise available to everybody at home.
Yeah, I mean, the drum corps activity, we all see the final result out on the field. What not many people see is what all goes into that, and it's the process that the kids go through, that experience, that development of their leadership skills. That's really where we're winning. And to be able to kind of pull all of that together based in our experience, and we're quite an incubator. You do a lot within a 2 to 3 month time period in drum corps. Kids get thrown into a lot of different situations, a lot of adversity. Things are changing, the rehearsal schedule's changing. So there's a lot of skills that they have to develop in a short amount of time. And we've taken a lot of that and we've said, now it's time for us to be able to put that in a form that we can take out to a high school band program and let them consume it and use it to their benefit. Let us make a lot of the mistakes, because we make a lot of mistakes, and learn from them, put that into a form that then your students can then take and really develop those skill sets.
Yeah, and another idea too that I think Chris has done a really good job of helping me see is, I was a lifelong teacher. I'm now really enjoying a life as a full-time designer, but if we're going to affect change in music education, we're going to affect change in the world, it's going to happen in public school. So, the Madison Scouts, we benefit from other people's teaching and other parents raising their kids. So we want to do whatever we can to assist band directors that are, in school on the front lines every single day. I hate to say it that way, but anything that we can do, that's our mission. And, the great part about drum corps is that we get to perform and teach students at the highest level, but we're only affecting, a small chunk of students every day. Right this summer, we're planning on marching 165 members from Madison Scouts. That is a lot of resources going to 165 students. So our mission as an organization is how can we reach out and affect more students just by programs like this. And that's kind of how Chris and I came to we've really put a lot of resources in developing this curriculum and ensuring that we are helping teachers with a tool that can, train their leaders to be better people. And that's the kind of the goal through all this process.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I think it's so great that the Corps is giving back in such a significant way. And listen, everybody, they've been working on this like hours and hours and hours and hours for months and months and months and months. So this is not something that happened overnight, but I'm really impressed with it. If you're interested, go to marchingartseducation.com. Right there on the main page is the logo that says Forward Leadership Student Curriculum. You can click on it. You can learn more about it. You can see how to sign up your group. You can consider if it's going to work for you or not. Jason, give me an example of a couple of the ideas that you're going to be sharing. Like, I don't want you to sit here and tell me the whole curriculum, everything on this conversation.
I'm so glad that you asked. Yeah. So the great thing about it is the curriculum is designed to be about teaching life. When I was a band director, I love music. I love standing in front of the band. I love marching band, but I felt like that was kind of my tool to affect people, right? So like my screwdriver or my hammer of life was band, and that's how I taught people to be better people. So the first thing is the only thing that the students need to participate in this curriculum is like a journal or notebook. So there's no filling out blanks. It shouldn't feel like school, because our goal is not to have more school. Our goal is to help engage conversation, talk about how to build relationships, how to build yourself. The curriculum is entitled A Forward Life, and it's funny when Chris and I are talking about Madison Scouts things, whenever we kind of get past a milestone, we usually text each other in all caps forward with an exclamation point. So forward. So I thought it was fitting to title the curriculum A Forward Life, and it's split into two categories. So 50% of the curriculum is about you, because you're the most important person in your life. And I think it's important to teach our students that. No one cares more about themselves than them. So we should be teaching our students on how to invest in ourselves, because a better version of you is going to affect the people around you in a more positive way. The other 50% is relationships, because you've got to figure out how you can properly fit into the people around you. So in each of those 50%, we either are talking about just a concept of life, like, positivity or mindset or, mental health, or we're talking about building skills, like how do you negotiate? How do you do critical and creative thinking? Task and time management, those are skill sets. From a relationship standpoint, teaching, like if you want, every time I go clinic a band, and I see band directors running all over the place and a bunch of kids just standing there, I always ask, like, why are we not letting the kids teach anything? And the band directors typically say, well, we tried that and it didn't work very well. Well, I've been teaching, I was a band director for 13 years, and I was kind of okay by the end. So it's important that we teach our students how to be good teachers. So there's a really great module on teaching, like how are we going to go through and systemize our students to teach? Because, it's hard enough just to look at something and see what's right or wrong. We need to teach them how to do that. It's also, you're trying to think about all the order and the processes, and how do we call them to set, and how do we give instructions. So we've put together a process that systemizes all the steps for a student to start teaching a lesson for the very, very beginning, so they don't have to worry about all the information. We can systemize it step by step, and then there's a little window in there where they actually are trying to affect change, versus just letting them loose and then like watching them fail. The best way to teach a student how to swim is not to throw them into the deep end. You want to give them, a systemized set of instructions. And honestly, Tim, the best part about it is that, I'm not averse to like tell people my secrets. I didn't write a lot of this curriculum. The staff came together and we brainstormed, and maybe I would write one of the modules, and then I would send it to the Forward leadership team, and then they would just go through on Google Docs and Red Pen and just totally tear up my work. So it's been great because, we have a very diverse leadership team, different ethnicities, different backgrounds of teaching. We're trying to be very inclusive at the Madison Scouts, so it's important that all these different people are looking at it from all different angles. So each module has basically been ripped up and torn apart by 6 different individuals and put back together. So we've really tried to make sure that we're being as efficient as possible with our time. Because we don't want to sit on a video and watch me talk for 2 hours. So each of the videos is about 15, 20 minutes, but there's activities in there that will stretch out that time. So most of the time is thought-provoking, and then letting the students take ownership of these concepts. We're really, really, really excited about it. The thing that I'm the most excited about to see where it grows is over the next 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Right. And what's wonderful about what you just said is, I just want everybody to get the point, like, this was not done lightly. Like, they took this very seriously. They wanted it to be really the best possible thing it could be to help students become better teachers, better leaders, everything that we need them to do. And I got to tell you, Jason, like, band directors are busy. They have 1,000 hats they're juggling and wearing, however you want to say it. They're juggling plates, wearing hats, whatever it is. But they're busy. They have a lot of things to do. And if just imagine, if you're listening to this and you're a director or you're an instructor, just imagine if you could take some of those tasks, get your students to be really effective at doing it. Suddenly you can, like, stop, do your part. Okay, now I can really think about making the band better, making my group better, whatever it is. So whatever kind of organization you're in, if there are leaders, they can use this information.
Yeah, and there's one more facet that I didn't mention that I'm really excited about. Okay, so for instance, let's say that you go through your leadership camp and you use our goal setting module. So Rachel is on our guard staff, and she's the person who delivered and wrote our goal setting module. So you take your students through how to set goals, both as individuals and as through your program, and you do it in leadership camp, and it's great, and everyone feels awesome. Well, then you get to like September 20th, maybe October 1st, and like everything we've talked about goals has gone out the window. So what we have in our curriculum is I deliver 5-minute refresher videos. So you go back onto the website and you click that 5-minute refresher video, and I pop up and I say, it's okay, it's mid-season, everyone, and we talked about, you know, goal setting in our leadership camp. And how's it going? It's probably not going as well as we thought it would when we were in leadership camp. And then I take a little 5-minute refresher. So band directors can play these videos or pull these out and say like, oh my gosh, we said we were going to do X, Y, and Z, and now it's not happening. The curriculum is built with these built-in refresher courses. So in the season, when you guys are actually doing the thing, it's a little bit of a reminder. And the great part is you can pull those out whenever you want to, because maybe like the teaching is going really well, but maybe we're not doing a really great job of conflict resolution. So you pull out Catherine Willer's video about conflict resolution, and boom, there's a 5-minute refresher, and it just kind of gets everyone back on track to where we were when we did the leadership training maybe in August before band camp. So it's a really, really, really great feature that actually was one of our education team's idea, and I just threw it in there. And I actually didn't really just throw it in there, but we did add it to the design, and it's going to be a really neat feature of the curriculum.
Yeah, so Chris, like you've worked with students for a long time, like you know how valuable this is going to be, and the fact that it's so systematically thought out and so like practically useful, like I really love that part of this.
Yeah, the approach that Jason and the team took. I mean, we had been working with concepts around forward leadership for several years now, and it's been a key part of our camps and instructional camps that we have done internally, but also externally when we run clinics for students. But now we've actually taken it and professionalized it. They have taken it and figured out how to implement it really effectively in a high school band program, and I think that's a really big key factor. These are great tools. These are the types of things that you can empower your students, and that's what we're really talking about. How do you empower your students to help carry the weight of what it takes to put together, whether in our case a drum corps, but in your case or a band director's case, putting together their program for the season. And these are great life skills these kids are going to take forward. So we're excited about it, and it's been just a really, classy way that they put this all together. So,
yeah, you mentioned the word professional. It's absolutely professional in every bit of it. I'm really honored and excited to have this available at Marching Arts Education. Again, everybody can go to the website and you'll find it right there on the first page. Click on it and go look at the stuff. We all directors all know they need to do a better job of training their students. They all know they need to get more out of the students, empower their students. Now I'm saying, like, all right, everybody, we can take this off your plate. You have something available that you can use with your students. They can go work through it themselves, get the information. There's refreshers, there's handouts, there's activities. I love it. Jason, I'm going to go back and highlight two things that you said that really meant a lot to me, as we're sort of wrapping up this conversation. The first module you said is about you and taking care of yourself and that kind of thing. And I really believe if you're anybody listening, if you're frustrated with what's going on in the world around you and you want to try to make it better, like start with yourself. Start making yourself a better person, a better citizen, make your life more successful. That will impact everybody around you. That is the way it works. You're like that little ripple in the water. And the second thing you mentioned about the second part being about relationships, I believe for sure, no doubt about it, our relationships and how we interact and network with everybody in our lives is absolutely critical to our success and to the success of the world again. So being someone that knows how to reach out, make those relationships, build those relationships, make those connections, that is everything. So the two core principles that you're working from here are things that I believe are really true and really powerful. So thank you for letting that be the premise that you worked from.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate that. And it was hard because when you think about all you want to present, there's a lot of information. So we just kept dialing it down. And it was actually Ryan Ellis's idea. So I don't want to take credit for that. It was Ryan Ellis's idea because I had a much more complicated idea. And he goes, I really feel like we could simplify this to be two basic things. And Ryan was like, it's basically a bucket of yourself or a bucket of relationships. And so we took all the content that I had ideas for and we just separated it into two things. And it originally was 4 pillars, and we have taken it down to 2. So kudos to Ryan Ellis. He's been great through all this leadership stuff. And you won't be surprised when you hear the percussion section of the Madison Scouts this summer, because they're under his leadership, and he's just a hot shot young stud coming up. And he's really, really young. He's like 26 or 27.
Wow.
But it was all his idea, and I think it was a great way for us to kind of corral all of our ideas.
So listen, if you're listening to this, here's my advice. Sign up your students for this right now. Let them do this training over the summer, and when they get to band camp, they're ready. Then you've got tools. They're all on the same page. You can give some tasks away, make your life better. Your program is going to be better this fall if you do this. So this is my suggestion, everybody. Go and check it out at marchingartseducation.com. Chris, what do you want to say in closing as we're finishing up this conversation?
Well, first off, just thanks for having us. We're very excited to bring this element of the Madison Scouts out to the general populace. We think these are really great tools, tools that'll help you be successful. So we're excited to bring this all out. And then, if you get a chance, come see some drum corps this summer, because we're going to be back at it starting in July. So absolutely, we're very excited to come back post-pandemic and put another show on the field this summer and get these kids engaged yet again. So.
I can't wait to see drum corps, and this is the year, everybody, to go see it live. Let's support the corps. There's shows all around everywhere. If you can't make it to Indy, let's support drum corps. Jason, what do you want to say about all this in closing?
Well, first of all, just thanks for having us. We're really excited about this partnership between the Madison Scouts and Marching Arts Education. But mostly, it's just really awesome that we're going to be able to continue to develop these processes that we're doing at the Madison Scouts and share them with educators. So. And just in terms of a resource, we are excited to have something that are going to help band directors be better band directors and help their students be the best versions of themselves. So thank you so much for the opportunity and helping us kind of formulate this so we can kind of make it more available to band directors.
Yeah, well, I love that we're helping to make this available. Everybody can find it at Marching Arts Education. Right there on the first page, it will say Forward Leadership Student Curriculum. Click on it, learn all about it, sign up your students. Chris and Jason, thanks for having this conversation. Great job today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Hi, I'm Dennis DeLucia. Recently, I had the opportunity to shoot a webinar with my dear friends Steve Rondinero, Tom Blair, Lindsay Vento. And it was for Marching Arts Education, an operation started and run by the great Tim Hinton. And it would be terrific if you all joined, became members of marchingartseducation.com, so that they can continue the great work that they have begun to do in behalf of all the marching arts. So please join, check out their website, marchingartseducation.com.